Hi everyone, it's Ashley Sorokas. You are watching this because you've already watched my live in the Launch Your Legacy group. You've already got some interesting things rolling around in your head of, do you grow online or do you not? And do you grow on social media versus website? Like, there's lots of different things that online means. But if you are still interested in growing online, especially when it comes to supporting your current customers, online is fabulous for that. And in the process of educating your current customers, you can then support and find new customers. But I wanted to show you some very specific tech lessons. I put up a post in the group and everyone had some really good questions of, like, how do you edit photos? Like, how do you use some of this software? How do you use Facebook groups to support your customers? And all this good stuff. So I wanted to record this additional tech training where if you're very advanced in social media or online, these might be some things that you already know. I'm hoping that there's at least one thing that I share with you that completely blows your mind in this training, because I'm going to show you some very basic things, and I'm going to show you all the way to some of the more advanced tools that I use. It might overwhelm you. Remember, we begin at the beginning. If you are not going to be consistent, if you are giving up your time for doing your regular in-person pipes, then social media, that's not what I'm giving you this training for. This is for if you do want to put a dedicated amount of time each week consistently. Just like building our business, we're not going to get very far if we're not doing it every day or every week consistently. You're not going to get very far. So the idea with this is, if you have decided that you want to spend 1, 3, 5, 10 hours a week, whatever that amount may be, you've looked at your schedule, you've determined that that is a good choice for you, depending on, maybe you're in a situation where it just seems like it's more sense for you to build online. Maybe you're traveling a lot. Maybe you don't have, just my light here, a great local community. For whatever reason, you feel like you cannot build in person. That's always my preference. Do not abandon everything else in place of building online, because to be honest, unless you're going to spend a ton of money on ads, you're not really going to get very far, unless you are literally the 1 in a million, if not at this point, 1 in 20 million, 50 million, who just magically takes off online because it just happens for you. But those are pretty small odds. We want to control our odds of success, right? So I'm going to show you some great tech training today, including some behind the scenes of my own business and how I use some of these systems. So first off, we're going to start with Facebook groups. I have some notes over here on my laptop. I'm not having them up on my screen because I'm going to share my screen in a minute. I'm going to actually show you how to use some of these apps on your phone and in the computer and stuff. So that's why I'm looking over here at my laptop. So if you are running a Facebook group, you might be running a Facebook group to attract new clients or new doTERRA customers. You might be using a Facebook group to support your current customers. You might be using a Facebook group to support your current builders. There are different ways that you can use Facebook groups. I have 2 Facebook groups. I have one for customers, but I allow anyone else into that group as well. So I don't check if they have an ID number. I don't really care what team they're on. If I'm going to be in that group sharing my education anyways with my team, I honestly don't really care who else is in there. It's a private group. So there's 2 different security settings. There's private and there's closed. Private is where you can share the link to the group. People can see that there's a group. They can see that there's other people in the group, but they can't see the content in the group. Closed is where you might even have a link that you share, the Facebook link for the individual group that Facebook gives you, or that you can see in your browser, which again, I'll show you in a minute. If it's a closed group, you will share that link with anyone not in the group, and they're not going to be able to find it. It will just say link does not exist. So a closed group is where you manually have to have someone inside of the group add someone else to the group, and they can only add them if they are already friends with them on Facebook. You can invite people by email. However, usually that will go to spam. Most people's Facebook notifications go to their spam or their trash. So I'm recommending that you do a private Facebook group for that reason. But you have to provide regular content to continue to keep the engagement up. A lot of people were worried about the algorithms and engagement. Algorithms, I'm not gonna lie, they're a bitch. Like, when you post something, no matter it's on a public wall, private group, 1 to 3% of people who have said yes to seeing that content. So let's say you have people who have joined your group. They've pressed that button. They have asked to join your group. You have approved them in the group. They want to see your content. Facebook is only going to allow 1 to 3% of them to see it, because that's just the way that Facebook is. Facebook cannot make the billions of dollars that they make if no one is paying for ads. So they're not just going to show it to everyone who's in your group. Unfortunately, there are not really any ways around this other than to provide amazing content that engages the people in the group. The more engagement you have in the group, the more Facebook is then going to show your video, your post, whatever it might be, in the news feed of other people who have been in the group. You could also, if you're having issues with engagement, you could send an email, text message, whatever is your preferred method for communicating with that particular person, because everyone might have a different way. Some people might want an old school phone call. Some people might want a pigeon letter in the mail. I don't know. Some people might just want an email. Some people want a text. But just say like, hey, maybe you're having a re-engagement routine and you're like, I'm giving away, maybe it's BOGO week, or maybe it is, you're like, I'm just giving away a prize this month for people who are deciding to come in and comment on and be active on this specific post. If you're in for the free diffuser or whatever it might be, click on this link. If you're not in the group, it will ask you to join the group, and click on this. You'll be entered into a draw to win whatever. The more you can get engagement on that one post, the more engagement you're going to get a few days or up to a week or a certain amount of time after that post as you continue posting and providing value. So one of the best ways to help provide and boost that engagement in a group is live videos. Recorded videos don't get the same engagement. I use them in different ways. I'll show you in a minute, but I do a weekly live video in my customer group. I do live videos in my team biz building group when it suits me, when I'm feeling inspired to share something. I don't do regular lives in that group, but I do regular lives in our customer group every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We call it Essential Education on our team. I'm going to show you how I've used this particular system to also benefit my downline, because if I'm already doing the work of doing some research or looking up some specific things that I'm going to be talking about in the live that week, because there's a different topic each week, I'm writing it down and I'm sharing that information with my group and my team biz builders so that they can do the same in their Facebook groups. If I'm doing the work anyways, how can you duplicate it and benefit the people on the rest of your team? That's what you should always be asking yourself. This is network marketing. The idea is that you duplicate. So, other ways to get people to get into that group, I find that fewer people will raise their hand, or you might invite them to join a Facebook group after the fact, months later, and they're hesitant. I got this tip from Megan Terzis, who you've already heard from earlier in the weeks prior. And she's like, I have this great Facebook group and people are engaging. I'm like, how do you do that? I'm not finding that my customers, when I send them my welcome email that has the link to our Facebook group, not a lot of people are joining. And she's like, well, if I'm friends with them, I just add them to the group. I don't ask them. They can leave the group if they want to. But I'll send them a message to be like, hey, I just added you to our educational Facebook group. If you want to leave, you're welcome to. But that's where we share a lot of education, and I know it will help you learn how to use your oils. So you give them a heads up, but you can add them manually. But I'm like, my problem is when I did Diamond Club 2 times. How do I get people who I don't know I don't have that relationship with them yet? She said, when you begin the class, right before the class starts, you just say to the host, hey, do you mind going into the group that you're already in? And do you mind adding your friends who are here in this class to that group? And I'm like, oh my God, so simple, so genius. Like Megan Terzis and her simple tool. I love her simplicity of her business. It blows me away and I love it. So that was a great tip that I got from Megan as we were talking about this issue. Or if there's personal friends who are already in there, ask them and add other people. You can, again, maybe do a prize draw or something. Hey, the person to add the most friends is going to win a complete Virage skincare package, something like that. I don't know. Again, don't break the bank doing these giveaways. These are just ideas, right? All right, so regular education that can be duplicated on your team. Let me bring up my screen first. I'm gonna bring up my actual Facebook group. Okay, I'm just gonna share my Chrome video here. I'm just gonna hide this, sorry guys. Okay, so this is my group. Again, you're all welcome to join it. You can Google this, put this in the search bar on Facebook. I'm not going, don't send me requests like messages, personal messages for me to add you because I can't keep up. There's 500 people in this group who's seeing this video potentially. I have about 12, well, you can see 1,200 people in this Facebook group. Don't send a personal request to be added through a direct message to me, but if you can find it, by all means, I will approve you. I do not care. I love having this private group. Actually, this is a closed group. Oh God, I told you guys the wrong thing. So closed is where anyone can find the group and they can request to join it. Private is where if you share this link up here, this is the link that you can share, which you can customize this FYI. If you share this, if it's set as private, then people are not going to be able to actually find the group, even if you've given them the link. So you need to set it as closed. Sorry, my bad. Just flip what I told you before. Told you this is on the fly. So I love this because if any of you are in the group and you're like, oh my God, I love this training, I want to share it, and I said something slightly uncompliant, if you go to one of these posts and you go to share it, there's no share button because this is a closed group. No one can share the information from this group to another group or to anywhere else. So it gives you a little bit more control of how your education is being shared. So you can see that I have an announcement. This is just, you know, explanation of what it is and blah, blah, blah. I have different things here of what are some of the steps of joining. I need to update this. This is from like a year ago. I have all updated these. I haven't even updated these, you guys. It's so hard keeping up with all the different things. So let's go to my essential education. So I'm going to go on the search bar on the side and I'm going to put essential education, because how I make it easy for my team to find this, any of the customers as well, is every post where I share something about this essential education, I put in the top of the caption, essential education, then dash whatever we're talking about that day. So this way, if anyone wants to see what we've covered in the past essential education, and I say that on most of my videos, I will say if you want to see past episodes, type in essential education into the search bar and you will be able to see all the different videos and posts that are related to this essential education. So I go in, I have a little bit of a title here. I go in and this is where I do my live video. Now, what I do each week is I announce it. So every week on usually the Sunday before, I'll go in and I will announce what we're talking about. And I have these pictures that are already made and I allow all of my team to have this. I'll show you the system that I do that in a minute. Then the morning of, so again, I go live every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. So Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., I pre-schedule this post here that reminds them, it says don't forget, and then reminds them what we're going to be talking about. And then there's the actual post here. I use a program called Ecamm Live to be able to go live in here. You can see my son was home from school that day. He was slightly sick. You can use VLive TV, that you can go live in here from my desktop computer, but you could also just use your phone. So I put in, again, all of these titles of these captions is essential education or whatever you're going to choose to call your regular education. And I do that so that everyone can just type in essential education here and find this. I also put in the topic of what we're talking about, because if they're like, how about diffuser blends? I want to find out more about diffuser blends. Oh, I just did, literally 2 days ago, I just did a video on how to pick diffuser blends. It was one of our most, it was really exciting. Like people were just, you can see it has 32 comments, 295 views. We have 1,226 members in here. That's about average exposure for something like this. But you can see that it's all in one place, and I love doing it that way. So how I duplicate this on my team is I have this Google document. It's called Team EOL, so my team is called Weekly Essential Education Toolkit. I put together some videos of if my team didn't know how to do a Facebook Live, I did a training, how to do a Facebook Live. This is how to do an Instagram Live if you want to do it from Instagram. This is how you use the Ecamm app that I use right now. So I showed them how to do all of those. I provided the marketing images as well. So when I go in here and I go in and I do my reminders, actually I should zoom this in for you guys, and I do my reminders here. This is where the don't forget and the regular announcement one. So I have shared, I use Dropbox. You can also use Google Drive. And I have these folders that have all these pictures in here. So right in this document, I say click here for the entire catalog of the weekly images. So for the announcement pics, I have 7 different pictures they can choose from. So you can just go back and forth between these. I rotate between the 7. I've named them 1 to 7. And then I have reminder pics, and those are all the images to share. And then I have my reminder pics where they can go, and these are all don't forget, and they all say don't forget, and my team can all just download these and use these as they want. I really don't care. Now it has our team. This is how I branded this education, essential education. I just made a little type logo here because again, my background, I do a lot of graphic design, but that's right here as well. Now what I've done is I've done all the work for them. You can see that this document is 70 pages and it's growing. We started doing this the week of May 14th of this year, and I have not missed a week since then. A few weeks I've had to pre-record the video, and I scheduled it to go to post at noon Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday when my customers are now expecting it. You have to keep up with this education if you're going to do something like this for months before people will start paying attention. Because now, if I go live at a different time, people are like, I took my lunch break at work at noon to watch you and you weren't there. And I have people I've missed sometimes where I was like 20 minutes late and they were messaging me going, are you okay? Is everything okay? Are you sick? Are you like, they're like, do I need to come over and check that you're safe? Like, it's so funny. People start to rely on that, which is so amazing about something like this. So week of May 14th, this is when we first did seasonal discomfort. Click here for the weekly images. And I put will be covering. I put the talking points here. So what I've done up here is I've written the captions for them. This is what to write for the announcement topic. Essential education - insert topic name. Everybody ready for your weekly dose? This week's topic is all about blank. I'm going live on date at time. Will be covering. And then I write these, and my team has helped me with some of these in the past. It's mainly me doing this right now. But they just copy these 3 things they'll be covering, put it into that, that caption I've already pre-written for them above, and then here are the talking points. So I share all these talking points for them, and then I put a little, the months they just follow. I just copy and paste and continue to go down here. So there are some weeks where there's a lot of links out. I just did one on digestion and the key to health, and there was a ton of notes here, you guys. But that's because I'm a holistic nutritionist, and that's what I specialize in. Sometimes if I'm short on time, I just put some quick notes up here, and I let people, my team, if there are going to be doing this, and not a lot of people do, guys. I don't do this counting. I don't get resentful when I don't see my team doing these lives with me. I do them. If I'm going to do the research myself, this is a place for me to write it. If I'm going to write it somewhere, I might as well share that with my team. So not everyone is always doing these weekly videos, but if anyone's like, hey, I want to do a video on diffuser blends, I'm like, hey, guess what? I already have all these notes written. Here you go. Some of my best, references for that. So that's what I do with this essential education. And like I said, my teams started to really, customers and business builders as well. This is great for educating other business builders that maybe aren't as educated as I am on things like digestion or supplements, because my background is holistic nutrition. So also with this, I used to do a LRP draw every month in this group. I used to do, let's see, LRP draw. I'll show you what I used to do. So I used to just have every month I would make an image and it said LRP draw. And in the caption it was, if you did your LRP, put I love LRP below and how many, and I had different levels. So if they did any LRP under 100 PV, they got 1 draw entry. If they did an LRP over 100 PV, they got 2. If they did 125 plus LRP to get the product of the month before the 15th of the month, they got 5 entries. And people would have to go and put I love LRP times 1, I love LRP times 7. They'd add it all together. And then I would go and I do a draw each month. And I do a draw generally for something between $50 and $70. I use my LRP points to buy these. I don't buy them out of pocket. I use my LRP points, right? Or being the rank I am, sometimes I have to do a large buy-in and I will buy all of my LRP draw prizes for the next 6 months or for my team or whatever it is. So I used to do LRP draw, but I realized that it was the same people commenting. So I switched a few months ago, and this is when we started doing the essential education. I switched so that they would start doing, let me find it down here. I did it so that they didn't have to be on LRP, but that they would have to, oh, that's a winner one. Just a second, I want to find where I announced what the draw was, and here it is, September Essential Education Draw. This was a big one because I just had, honestly, a lot of product to give away. So what I do now is every comment below one of my weekly essential education videos, and the comment can't just be great video. It has to be something new that they've learned from watching that video. We'll enter them to win one, we'll give them 1 entry towards the draw, and it will give them a chance to win this month's prize. And what's happened, because my team is a very low LRP rate, especially in comparison with a lot of other, we're about 25%, which is frankly not great, but we're working on it with this customer education. The more we educate our customers, and you can see right in the comments below the video, they're like, oh my God, I never used ginger. Now I'm going to start using it. Guess what? They're going to use their ginger, eventually run out of ginger and need to reorder ginger. A lot of them are like, oh my God, I need to add this. They're like, I didn't know what this product was for, so I wasn't using it. Now I'm adding it to my next order. So we're actually seeing multiple comments below each video where people are like, I'm now going to order this, or I had not even opened that oil and now I'm going to use it because you did this video. Or even some people are like, I've ordered several times, you know, in the last few months. I'm going to start on LRP. And they actually say that in the comments below the video. It is such a beautiful thing. So when we're doing this regular education, like, guys, this is work. Of course, this is work, but ask your upline. You don't all need to have your own Facebook group. I open up my Facebook group where I'm doing this essential education and I'm giving away these prizes for any person on my team. Anyone, any of my builders can add their people here. I would rather my team builders focus on pipes, teaching classes, sampling, following up, one-on-one wellness consults, and let me take care of the Facebook group because I don't mind doing that. So that's a way that you can do that. So what if people are not on Facebook? You could share the videos to a private page on your website if you have a website. You could start a private Instagram account. I find a lot of people now are not on Facebook, but they're on Instagram. So you can start a private Instagram account, which means that you have to approve each and every person who would see your content, and you only do lives on that particular account. You tell them, hey guys, I'm going live every Wednesday at noon or whatever time you choose that's good for you, and you make sure you show up. But that's a way of being able to reach people if they are not on Facebook. I actually do both. I have my phone up. I'll have my phone up on I have a clamp right here that holds the phone up, and I go live from my computer, my Facebook group, and I go live on Instagram on my essential oil Instagram feed from my phone. So I'm doing both at the same time. But again, you can't please everyone, but if you do notice there's a trend of people not joining your Facebook group, ask them, where are they? How do you want to be educated, right? There's lots of different ways. I'm going to show you some more ways. Okay, Facebook classes. There were some specific classes about questions about Facebook classes. How do I do them? I have a set number of posts, and honestly, I had followed a template of someone who had made like a week-long Facebook class, and it had all these posts, and I was just like, this is so overwhelming. My Facebook classes, I think I haven't done one since like May or June. It's now October as I'm recording this. I think it's 3 days long. There's about 4 or 5 posts each day. I literally am just talking about the basic oils. I'm doing what I do in a class. What's my story? Why I use essential oils? Why I use what are essential oils? Why I use doTERRA, and the doTERRA difference, the top 10 oils, how to enroll. That's what I'm covering. That's all that I'm covering in those classes. Now, the majority, 90% of the videos, so if there's 5 videos a day, I think there's about 15 or 20 videos in total. The majority of them, except for 3, are recorded. And I pop in live every day and do one of the videos. So one of the days I believe I come in and do peppermint. Another day I do the how to enroll. I do that live. And the introduction of who I am, I do that live. Because again, live will get the engagement in the group. They will start to see the other posts in the group as you're posting because they then watched your live. It also gives them a chance to get to know who you are and your mannerisms and your style and all that stuff that makes you you, that they're going to want to be a part of. That's how I do my Facebook groups or my Facebook classes. And I would share the times of the lives. Be like, I'm going live tonight at 8 p.m. I'm doing a Q&A at whatever time it was. Or leave your questions. What I would actually do is, just like my essential education, I would put up a post that says, I'm doing a live Q&A video. Maybe you posted at noon. I'm doing a live Q&A video at 8 p.m. If you can't make it live at 8 p.m., put your questions below and I'll make sure that I get them answered. That's how you, and again, you have to remind them, right? People are busy. They're not ignoring you. They're either not seeing the post because social media is not showing them the post, or they're just busy. People are busy. So you're not annoying them. You are reminding them. Chances are that 1 to 3% of people see your post. Chances are they're not even seeing your post anyways, or multiple of them. So you're not annoying them. You need to remind people of this. Yeah, so ideas. You also, at the end of the live video, or a reminder of where maybe you're giving away a bonus, like, because maybe if you're like, if you enroll by Sunday night at midnight, you're going to I'll give you an extra bonus bottle of wild orange with your order, and I will mail that to you personally. Put up a post that says, if anyone has any questions, please send me here's my email, or please text me at this number and we will get on the phone and chat through this. Because some people they have questions, they're shy, they don't want to put them in a comment for everyone else to see. Maybe they don't want to DM you, but maybe they're like old school and they want to get on the phone. Diamonds get on the phone, guys. So that's a really simple way you're not necessarily trying to get them to enroll themselves. because we know it can be a complicated process. The goal is to get them to engage with you, and you can follow up. Once you see who's commenting below the videos, and if you see that they haven't enrolled, send them a message. Hey, Kate, I was wondering, I saw that you had lots of questions. Thank you for coming to the Facebook class. Do you have any questions about getting started or getting a kit? I would love to help you out. They'll let you know, okay? We need to be proactive. We are past the point where people are just gonna come to us in droves. There are lots of people, it's not saturated, but there are lots of people, and people have choices of who they get started with. You need to work. It's the same online as a follow-up as it is in person. If you see someone engaging online, you need to follow up with them, okay? You can't just sit back and be like, the enrollments are rolling in. That's not how it works. People are busy. They don't see the posts. They want personal engagement. They are a person with wants and needs, and they want someone to listen to them. That is what your job is. You're just meeting them online, okay? All right, that's Facebook classes. Let's hop over to Instagram. Instagram is, how many of you look at Keely Martinez Instagram, or My Well-Oiled Life, or Michelle Cannon, and you're like, they have 50,000 followers, they have 80,000 followers, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I have like 1,800. I'm like, which is way more I ever thought I would. I'm like, it's freaking hard work, guys. So Instagram, I'm going to teach you in a little bit how to take and edit pictures and take pretty pictures and all that good stuff. But right now, let's just talk about Instagram. So first of all, Instagram pictures, for the most part, are square. When you look on an Instagram feed, they are square. Now, when you actually click on that individual picture, sometimes you can see them wider or taller, but for the most part, you want to make sure that they look good in square. Now, I'll show you when you're taking a picture with your phone that you can set it to the square mode so that you're not going to cut anything important out of the picture. You don't have to. But your news feed will be square. Ideally, if you are taking pictures in or making them in Canva, which we'll get to in a minute, or another picture making app or program, 1200 pixels square, so 1200 by 1200 would be the ideal minimum resolution that I would do. But I like to make my pictures, if I'm drawing one or making one from scratch, 2000 pixels by 2000 pixels, just FYI. Instagram stories, which is, you can click on it and you get 15 seconds as a video, or 15 seconds a picture will show. That's across the top of the Instagram screen. Those are oblong. Those are 1080 pixels wide by 1920 pixels tall. Now, what I want to share with you, your Instagram feed, this picture, I'm going to bring up my phone now, guys, because this can get a little confusing. Actually, I think I can actually bring up Instagram. Let's see. Let me share my screen, because I think I can still see this good stuff. Okay. So this is my Instagram feed. Oh, there's Laura. She's on my team. She's going to Moncton today. So proud of her. So when you look at someone's Instagram account, more than likely, you're seeing your feed. So when you log in, you're seeing a feed. So now when this is on your phone, you're just seeing these pictures and the captions. You're not seeing this stuff down here. But your feed would be these individual pictures. You can see that you get, this is probably, I'm guessing, 100, 120, maybe 150 characters right here, but you can click on more and you get to see all of the caption. This is called your home feed. And if you want to see, so it will show individual pictures or videos as well. You can upload videos up to a minute long. Now, when you click on someone's profile, you will see their feed here. So you will see that it is square. This is where generally you want, again, it doesn't need to be looking perfect, but generally you're going to find that people make this feed look a little bit more curated. I'll zoom out here. So this is definitely more curated. It looks more polished. It looks more perfect, for lack of a better word. That's generally how people are going to use their feeds. But when you click on stories, which we cannot see here in this that I'm sharing right here, I should actually get on my phone. But this is where, and actually let me do that, because I don't want to miss out on anything that I get to share with you. Okay, so it's going to just take me a second. Let me share my screen. Okay, so you can all see my screen now. Let me unlock my phone. Okay, so Instagram right here. So again, we see the Instagram stories across the top. We are seeing the feed right here. So this would be kind of your home feed. This is where you're going to consume other people's content, right? Now, generally, the second one down is going to be sponsored. You see where it says the name of the account, and then it says sponsored. That's super annoying, right? Who hates sponsored ads? Me too. But then you see all these pictures here, right? But then when you click on the bottom right-hand corner is your own account. This is where you can see someone's feed, right? So this would be where this is the pretty looking stuff. But then if you click on the person's picture in the left-hand corner, you can see it says Ashley Sirokis. If you click on that, it will bring up my Instagram stories. You can see how it's wide. And if you hold down your finger, FYI guys, you can pause an Instagram story in the middle of it. So that's where I'm just holding my finger on the screen here to be able to read more. So if I go back and touch the left-hand side of my screen, it's taking me back to a longer story. This is where someone, and you can even put on there, stop to read more, and click on the next one, stop to read more. So you can go through here, but I don't have any videos up right now. You can kind of give an idea, again, an idea of how I'm using my Instagram stories. I've been sharing diffuser blends lately. I've pushed myself every day because I'm making these great diffuser blends. I wasn't sharing them. So every day now I'm taking a picture of the oils that I'm using and I'm putting up today's diffuser blend. And the best part is that you can share these. Like I said, I have 2 Instagram accounts, one just for oils, one for my personal business because I had that before doTERRA. So you can see here, you can turn a story into these highlights. You see right above, right here in the middle, and I can't actually show you, right? But below where it has my bio, and then it's got new, and then it says Diffuser Blends Oil Class, right? This is where people can click on, and I can share my Insta stories every day, and I can share my diffuser blends. So this is a great resource. If you have people when they first join your team and they're like, how do I use my oils? It's like, hey, go follow me on Instagram. You're gonna get a lot of great ideas and education on how to use your oils. So to do that, I go on to right here, and I hold my hand down on the Insta story that I've already uploaded. Now this is not that kind of tech side. If you don't know how to do an Insta story, I recommend that all that you do is just put Google how to publish an Insta story or how to do Insta stories. It will walk you through that. Guys, you need to get resourceful. I'm sorry, but Google, you should be Googling 20 things a day, learning yourself. I taught myself how to do all of this stuff by myself, including graphic design, and you can learn anything in today's world, okay? You need to get resourceful. But I'm holding my hand down. Now, if I let it up, you're gonna see in the bottom right-hand corner, it says highlight. You see where it says highlight and there's a little heart? Click on that and it will say add to highlights. So you can see there's a check mark under diffuser blends because I've already added it there. But if I wanna create a new one, you click on the new and then you're gonna name it and then it's going to add it to that highlight. So you can see if we go to my highlights, you can see that I actually have a 10-minute essential oil class. This is 15-second clips. I don't know if you can hear that. But it's literally an oils class in 15-second clips of me talking to the video. My husband did film this on a professional camera because he's a videographer, but you can film this on your phone, 15-second clips. Now it took some planning and rehearsing, but now I have this resource where every now and then I will put up a post that says, hey, do you want to know more about essential oils? Go to my highlights, click on oil class, and you will get schooled in less than 10 minutes. That is a great resource. You can also have a highlight that's like roller bottle remedies, using oils with babies, using oils when your kids get sick. I mean, you have to create a smaller title than that. You can see that there's only, like 10 characters that allows you to title it. So get creative with your characters. However, yes, this is, use your highlights, please, as a great one-stop shop for your resource center, similar of how I'm gonna recommend that you use Pinterest. So writing captions, this was one of the biggest things. Now, for me, everything that I do in my business is to educate others. It is very important to me that I continue to educate people. I love educating. I'm like a teacher at heart. So when I look at any of these posts and I write a caption, I'm not writing like, Happy Friday. Once in a blue moon, I will write that. I am adding value. You can write, I believe, up to, I think it's like 1,500 characters as an Instagram post. So for instance, we're gonna click on this top left-hand corner, and this was a nice, beautiful picture that I've had taken for me, and I wanted to, because there's a keyboard in there, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk about using these 3 oils for the workday. So if you wanna work at a computer all day, listen up, this is how you're gonna use lavender. Again, we're gonna be compliant because this is available publicly. We want to keep it compliant. We don't want the FDA or Health Canada or any other health police coming to us and saying, you cannot say that about oils. It is not compliant. So I talked about balance. I talked about deep blue, and in very real examples. People need real examples. They need to know how to use their oils. You can't just say use On Guard for immunity. They're like, what does that mean? You're like, no, we can add 3 drops to a diffuser to purify the air. We can rub 2 drops on the bottoms of our feet or down our spine with a little bit of coconut oil to give our little immune system some love. We can put a drop in a little shot glass of water and take it by swallowing it. Give them real examples. This is a place that if you want to use this as a resource for your current customers, you want to teach them how to use their oils in everyday life, right? Copaiba, like how amazing is Copaiba? FYI, with Facebook purchasing Instagram, it's now becoming just like Facebook, where if any of you have a business page already, it's going to say below the post, every single post is doing, look at the last 3 posts since they started doing this. This post is doing better than 80% of your recent posts. This post is doing better than 85% of your recent posts. This post, oh, it doesn't say it on that one. Oh, it must not be doing better. But a lot of them will say that. That's because they want you to boost the post and they want you to pay for an ad. So just honestly ignore that. So this is where I'm sharing real stories. People love my captions. I am writing from a very real place, and a lot of time and effort goes into these captions, you guys. So I'm talking about how I suffer from truly debilitating, anxious feelings sometimes, literally. Like, I could not get off the couch a year ago. I'm not even kidding you. All my friends and family will tell you I've done a complete 180 because of using Copaiba essential oil and a few other things, including CBD. But the whole point of this was that I'm sharing real, actionable tips for people who suffer from anxious feelings like I do, which honestly, I think this got so many, and why it says, this post is doing better than 85% of your recent posts, because you can see below that I had a ton of comments. People were like, I want to know how to use Copaiba. I want to know how it's different from CBD oil. I want to know what you've been doing for your anxiety. I got so many comments on this. I don't normally get this many comments, but you know what? This is what people wanted to know about. I did not just cop out and put a pretty picture of Copaiba and say, hey guys, Copaiba is awesome for anxious feelings. DM me for more info. No, people don't want that. They need to see the value. You need to give them so much value, especially online as compared to in person. You wouldn't even believe how much work goes into some of these Instagram posts and captions, right? So tell a story, be authentic. There's a great book by Gary Vaynerchuk called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And he talks about how on social media, you need to give value 80 to 90% of the time and ask for the sale 10 to 20% of the time. Let's look at Keely Martinez's, her feed, right? So she's got, okay, so let's look here. So here she has a home essentials kit, starter kit, how to start, right? So there's one post. So this is her last 12 posts. She has, is this one asking to buy? Oh yeah, so this one asks to buy. She's got a post here about her scar because of her basal cell carcinoma on her lip. She's got, here's her scar blend. She's got, shout out to Rachel Hollis and self-development. She's got lifestyle. She's got, hey guys, there's a free gift. Did you get this today? Which isn't totally asking people to buy, because it's also letting people who are already on her team who are following her, hey, did you put in your 200 PV order this month? Then she's got a scar protocol. So when we look at the last 12 posts that she did, she's got one, this home essentials one. She's got two, we'll call this like a half, because it wasn't really an outright asking people like, yes, ready to get started, send me a DM. So 1, 2, 3. So even that's 3 posts out of 12. But if you follow Keely, you know that she provides so much value. Her lives, her stories, she is constantly sharing. How many posts, guys? How many posts? She's done 1,798 posts, the majority of which would be educating others on how to use essential oils for everyone in doTERRA. For everyone, not just her team, not just people she wants to get started. She shares it freely. So when you look at it, you want to be educating. So like this next one right here is most of those, because she has a giveaway here, but the majority of them do not even look like they're selling anything. So even out of these 12 right here, maybe 1 or 2 are asking to buy something. That is much more in line with the 10 to 20% asked to buy, right? So you're not just putting up every post. DM me to get started. DM me to get a bonus, which we're not allowed even to share, right? You need to provide so much value. just talk about how you use your oils in daily life. Be compliant doing it, but share if your kids are sick. Share if you're feeling anxious feelings. Share if you have some tension in your neck and shoulders and how you got rid of it. Because if you have that problem, 99% of everyone else in the world has those problems and they're using other toxic solutions. And believe it or not, I know you live in a doTERRA bubble, but most of the planet does not know about essential oils. We have a lot of education to do. All right, now we're going to get to the really, as far as I'm concerned, the most important thing about growing your reach and potentially being able to enroll new people on Instagram is using hashtags. So whenever I put up, now, a fun thing I want to say about that, do not fill up your entire caption with hashtags, because it makes people feel like they're not reading you. It makes them feel like they're reading kind of a sales pitch. At least that's how I feel personally. So what I do is I write the caption here, like big, long captions. Some of them are smaller captions. What's one that I did, a little small one? I don't know. I'm very long-winded. But this is one I just shouted out to a girl on my team, one of my frontline leaders who has a recipe for turmeric essential oil. Because again, I'm leveraging my team. She posted an amazing turmeric essential oil. I click on Holistic Jackie here and I go back. She put up this great turmeric latte blend using 1 drop cinnamon, 1 drop ginger, 1 drop turmeric. So I wanted to give a shout out to her of like, hey, I don't need to post the same recipe. I'm going to shout out so you can go follow Jackie, because guess what? If Jackie's team grows, my team grows. So leverage your team as well, especially if there's someone who is absolutely killing it on social media. But so what I do is, even if the caption is small like this, I write hashtags. Now I would use between 10 to 15 to 20 hashtags in a post, and I put them in the first comment below. So you'll see my first comment below every post is my hashtags. And FYI guys, people always ask me, so this one is, doesn't include any specifically essential oil hashtags, but sometimes people are like, why do you use the hashtag Young Living or Young Living Essential Oils or YLEO? That is because you want to use hashtags that not applies to your caption specifically, although it's nice if they're related. You want to use hashtags that your person who you're trying to reach, the hashtags that they would be using. Because how the algorithm works is, if you use the hashtag, the first one there, busy moms, if someone else who is just a regular mom who's posting pictures of her kids, she's not doing an Instagram feed for her business, because guess what? Most people actually don't use Instagram for their businesses, believe it or not, even though I feel like everything is about business. But they will be using, they put up a post about their kids doing all the sports and they're like, hashtag busy moms. If they use that hashtag and you use that hashtag, Instagram's whole point, social media's whole point is to be social. They want to introduce you to another friend who has the same interests. So if you're using the same hashtags, they're going to introduce you. And all of a sudden, every now and then in their feed, you could possibly, your post, your one particular post where you use that hashtag might show up in their feed. And they're like, oh, who's this person? And they see the picture and it's pretty. And they're like, oh, double tap, I like that. And then they read the caption and they're like, oh, this girl seems cool. So then they click through to your profile. And if they see other things that they like, then they click on and they follow you, right? So that's how hashtags work. This is why we don't use hashtags that specifically, you're not like, let's say I have this post here. I mean, I might use the hashtag strawberries, but I'm not like hashtag red, hashtag summer. You could use that if that's what your ideal client is using, but hashtags require a ton of research, not a ton, but effort. So how you figure out what hashtags other people are using is, first of all, you find people to follow who are your ideal clients. They're people who you are wanting to help because they are either a specific age range, maybe they have kids, they're women with certain jobs. You need to come up with that idea of who do you want to help and what are they posting. So maybe you go and I'm like, okay, I want to find my friend. I'm just going to put in a friend here. I don't even know if no, that's private. Okay. Dr. Corey Lapp. Let's say for some reason, this is actually my friend Corey. We actually bought her house, which is totally weird to say, but she's a working mom. Now she's a naturopath. Let's just say this was like a regular account, right? I don't even really follow that many people on this personal account. Let's say we're going to go over to my other account. let's say I have this girl that I follow. This is Ashley Patron. Now, again, she's not necessarily going to interact with me because she has 130,000 Instagram followers, right? But they used to have an RV. They just moved into a home. They're into Jesus. They, traveled around. They homeschooled their youngest daughter. Maybe that's my ideal client. That's who I want to help. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on one of her pictures and I'm going to click at the bottom and see what hashtags is she using, right? If your ideal client is really into design and modern living, they might be using hashtags like So Domino or apartment therapy. Those are really, really common hashtags to use. So you look at that and maybe she's like, oh, there's a picture of her and her kids. Maybe she's like mom of boys, or right here, you can see joyful mama, family moments, motherhood simplified, oh, hey mama. If they're using that hashtag, you want to use that hashtag in your feed so that those people will start to see it. So you can use that and look at what other people are using. That's called market research. You can also click on this little magnifying glass. So this is our home feed right here. Home feed is in the top bottom left-hand corner. It's got that little home. So the one beside that, the little magnifying glass. You can search in the top. Now this is where people can find out other people to follow. So all of these people that I see here have been chosen for me because of the hashtags I was using. So you can see there's a lot of food pictures. There's a lot of design pictures. There are like healthy food pictures. There's like, I don't know why Instagram is showing these things, but I guarantee you, like some of them I'm like, oh, hey, that looks good. Apple, like almond butter on a whatever. And then I click the person's profile and I'm like, do I want to follow them or whatever? So in the top here, you can search. So let's say you're like, is there a hashtag for something specific? You're like sick kids, let's just say. So we put in sick kids. And then it says top there on the left-hand side. You're going to want to go to tags. It's going to tell you how many people have used that hashtag. Now, a great number to stick around is about 10,000 posts. If you are like at the top one, there's 102,000 posts for sick kids. So that's not too at a range, but if you look at something like TBT for Throwback Thursday, then you're going to see that there's been 451 million posts about Throwback Thursday. So what are the chances of you getting seen when you are competing with 451 million other posts? No, you want to keep it around 5 to 10,000 posts that have been used. So if I'm trying to do anxiety, a post about anxiety, if I type in anxiety and I use that as a hashtag, that's fine. It's common. It's been used. You can see 9.5 million times. So that means that I'm competing with 9.5 million other posts. So if I do something like semicolon project, have you seen those tattoos that people that have mental health issues, they will use that. So you can see semicolon project has 145,000 posts. That's starting to get to where I am going to possibly reach more people, right? So then you have to think, hey, let's follow this example of anxiety. So I have someone who I want to help with anxiety, with anxious feelings, because I know that essential oils are amazing for that. I suffer from anxiety myself. It's a very personal story. So what would someone like that be putting as a hashtag? Maybe they're like, I consider myself introverted. So you put in introvert. Sorry guys, anyone who knows me knows I cannot type on my phone. So you put in introvert. You can see that there's 962,000 posts, still a lot, right? But if you scroll down, it's going to show you the next most popular. So you can see there's introvert problems. There's only 166,000 posts. You see hashtag introverts is 83.4, introvert quotes, introverting, introvert struggles, right? So you're going to start to think, what would that person who I'm particularly trying to help, what would they be putting as a hashtag? That's what you want to do with this hashtag research, and do a mix. Maybe do a few hashtags that are in that really, really popular, Throwback Thursday or hashtag anxiety or something like that. But then the majority of the hashtags you want to use, I would use the smaller ones. I would use the introvert struggles. And you can actually click on the hashtag and see people that have introvert struggles, like what are they posting? If you're like, oh my God, that's totally funny, and these are people I want to hang around with, then use that hashtag, because then you're going to get to start to hang around with people like that. It's kind of like if you want to meet people who are into country music and you go to a rap show, do you think you're going to meet very many people that are into the same thing as you? No, you got to go to a country music show, right? Like, you're going to go to where the country music people hang out. Maybe you're going to go to Nashville, you know, and that's where you can you start hashtagging places. You start thinking, what are they into? If you are going after a woman who is between the ages of 25, 30 and is getting married, you're going to, you know, start to hashtag like modern bride, or like just that. You have to think of who are you trying to reach and what would they be searching. That's what you use as hashtags. So personally, I like to put these in the first comment below, because I generally, number one, have really, really long captions, and you run it, you can only, there's a limit. And I also don't like how it looks when I see a million hashtags at the bottom, unless I have room. And it's totally up to you, because the way that I do it, when I have to post those hashtags, it has to go up at the same time as the post. So I have to go and I have to post it. Then I have to go, I have all of my hashtags saved. I'll show you this in a minute, but you can save them in your notes app on your phone. So let me show you in my notes app. I used to have a ton of hashtags. This is where I had them saved here. So hashtags. And I would have hashtags here, Ashley Sorokas hashtags. I had different groups of hashtags, and I would go and click on it, and I would select, and I would copy this whole thing, and I would just copy it, and then I would paste it. So that's a way where you can save these groups of hashtags before you need to use them. Then you don't have to type out each individual one, right? So hashtags, really, really important. Now you can also use hashtags in Instagram stories. This is not so well known. I want to show you something. So in this post right here, it's about today's diffuser blend, right? I want to attract other people who are into diffusing, but maybe they're not using oils. Maybe they're not using doTERRA. Maybe they're using Young Living. Maybe they're using sage. Maybe they're using Rocky Mountain essential oils. So what I've done on the very right-hand side, can you see how it looks like there's a slight change in color on the right-hand side? It's because I have added hashtags in there, and I've blended them in with my picture so they're not annoying and they don't stand out. But what that's going to happen is, again, in Insta Stories, it's going to show people who have used that same hashtag in their Insta Stories, because I find about 50% of people now just want to watch Insta Stories, and 50% of people actually want to read an Instagram post. So I'm covering both here. So this is how I can do that. So let's just say I go home, I click on the top left corner to the little camera, and I'm going to insert this picture, today's diffuser blend, okay? So this is, I'll show you how to add that word there in a minute. I'll show you how to take a pretty picture, blah, 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 in just a minute. But top right-hand corner, I add in that I press the little A, the big A and the small A, and that will allow me to add text. I click on hashtag. Let's put Young Living. Now, when you start typing, you're going to see that it has suggestions at the bottom. The ones in the bottom left are going to be the most used. The ones as you scroll to the right are going to be not as used. So let's just say I use the Young Living EO. I click on the dropper. You see along the bottom, you can choose colors. So if I choose pink or whatever, I'm going to click on the dropper on the left-hand side, and I'm going to just click on the screen over where the color is, where I'm going to place this hashtag, and I click done. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it. You can turn it or whatever, but I'm going to make it, you can make it super small so you can't even hardly read it. I'm going to move it up into that right-hand side. You can see how you can hardly even see it. But it's tagging that Insta story with Young Living EO. So hopefully other Young Living people will be like, ooh, pink pepper and green mandarin. Young Living doesn't have those. What are those? And then I start educating them about the difference in quality, and does your company share reports on each oil and bottle of oil and a lot number? And they're like, no. And then I'm like, no, Young Living sucks. Although I don't want to give that impression. So then you click on your story in the bottom, that little plus sign, your story, and then we've published an Instagram story. So that is how you can even use hashtags in your Insta stories. And I would say I would be more active in Insta stories right now than I would even be on Instagram posts. Even if you went and did 3 Instagram posts a week, but we're posting maybe 3 to 5 times throughout the day in Insta stories, you're still going to be generating follows and people seeing your posts because you're active in Insta stories. So Insta stories is for showing behind the scenes, real life, not the curated perfectness. And then in the news feed or in your Instagram feed, that's generally where you'd be doing much more of those polished pictures that you're going to edit. So I'm going to discard this. Okay, I just want to show you that because I thought it was really cool, right? All right. priming the pump. Now, I've been testing this out. Honestly, I don't really think it's making a difference. Instagram, you can see sponsored posts, teardrop breasts. That's awesome. They can't even show the nipples. Is that not hilarious? But priming the pump. So I've already kind of showed you Instagram highlights. But I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to stop sharing here. Just let me stop sharing, stop mirroring. Okay, so priming the pump is where you go on 10 to 15 minutes before you're going to post and you interact with other people that you're following with. So ideally you're interacting with people who are not already on your team because you want new customers to join you through Instagram. But you would go on, you would find their pictures, you would leave an authentic comment. You're not just putting like emoji. I don't like when people just leave emojis unless they're like, put an emoji below if you agree or whatever, right? But I would actually put like beautiful picture or your family is so beautiful or happy birthday, you know, whatever it is. Actually leave like this room looks so amazing. That couch is such a beautiful color. Like leave an authentic, like don't be a jerk. Like just go and get in a good mood and then like spread the love around, right? So that's called priming the pump. Some people say if you do that 10 to 15 minutes before you post, your post will get more engagement. Honestly, I've not noticed a difference. It's just resulted in me being on Instagram for way more time than I want to be. And, but you can play around with that to see if that makes a difference for you. Instagram highlights we've already covered. So some other ideas for your Instagram highlights could be diffuser blends, roller bottles, Q&As that you've done. You can use the Q&A option in Insta Stories to play with that. The oils class, like I showed you. There are tons, you know, again, oils with kids, cleaning with oils, my skincare regime, like any groupings of education. And then you can refer people to that. You can refer new customers and be like, if they're like, oh my God, what to use when your kids get sick? You're like, you know what? Are you on Instagram? They're like, yeah, I love Instagram. I have a great highlight. If you click on my profile and click on sick kids, I show you exactly what to use on your kids. And they're like, oh my God, thank you. And you know what the best part about that is when you're doing Insta Stories, you actually show yourself rolling it on your kids. You show them rolling, you show them filling up the diffuser and they feel like you're walking them through it. It's such a great resource to use your Instagram to educate your current customers, because guess what? Someone who sees the value in continuing to ordering and is going on LRP is just as valuable to your volume and your rank as if you are enrolling new people. An essential collection kit is in Canada 134 PV, 120, I forget what it is. Home essentials kit is 234 PV. Or if you got 2 people on LRP who are going to continue to order each month, that's 200 PV, right? Like one is hauling buckets, one is creating a pipeline. Why do I have 2 different accounts? So I just showed you I have 2 different accounts. I have an Ashley Sirokis account. I have an an Extraordinary Life account. It was because I had a business before doTERRA. I have a whole separate side of my business where I teach other people how to brand and blog and grow their business and different strategies that I use. Those 2 do not go together. Like they do, because some people who would follow me might potentially do a doTERRA business, but my essential oil customers don't want to hear about how I split up my business expenses. They don't want to hear about how I did self-development to get over my money blocks. They might be interested in that, but there was not enough overlap. That is why I have 2 different accounts. And you guys, it is exhausting. I do not recommend it. You are your brand. You are you. They are investing in you. Ange Peters does not have 2 separate accounts that I know of. Maybe I'm just not her friend on her other account. Keely Martinez, as far as I know, probably doesn't have 2 separate accounts. They are who they are in their totality. They're moms. They're business owners. They talk about oils. They exercise. They eat well. Like these are things that just other regular people do as well. I do not recommend having 2 accounts. I recommend having 1 with the primary objective being educating about the oils. 90% of our business is based on customers using the oils. So 90% of your education should be about customers using the oil. The other 10% can be about business or whatever else you want. When I'm talking about the 90% of education for customers, I'm also including healthy lifestyle things like moving your body and eating healthy. And those are part of doTERRA's wellness pyramid. So that's what I would recommend is 1 account, 90% of the time talking about oils, 10% of the time asking for the sale or talking about the business. That's how I'm going to recommend that you split it up. Selling from Instagram. Actually, I rarely enroll someone through Instagram. Rarely. I've put up some posts, enroll today, and I shared in the live video what the chances of you enrolling people directly from social media. I don't think you should even worry about it. You know you're doing a great job in educating when people are literally direct messaging you going, okay, like, how do I get these oils? Does that not feel way easier to you? If you are giving enough value, and this is where social media is not easy. It's not about putting up a post once a week, who wants to get started with me? Because if you haven't shown them the value, they're not going to get started with you. It just feels salesy and sleazy and blah. And we're different. doTERRA is different. We educate. We teach people how to feel so amazing. And we show them how amazing we feel and how healthy we are and full of vitality that they can't help but say, I want to join her or him, if you're watching this. So that's my viewpoint on that. I don't know how to sell kits on Instagram because I don't sell kits on Instagram. My business was built person to person, in-person classes. Every now and then, maybe I would say 10 people on my personal enrollments of about 250 to 260 or 275 people at this point have been from online. Do the math, guys. Like, no, just educate. There is as much value in educating your current customers and your current team than there is trying to enroll new people. It's not about the new, it's about helping retention and supporting those people. Okay, Pinterest. I want to show you some Pinterest stuff very quickly because it's not like you're going to use Pinterest as a primary. Let me share this again. Pinterest. I love me some Pinterest. How about all of you? I have a large Pinterest account. I use it for my business, mainly for the other side of my business, you guys. Seriously. I have over 8,000 followers. You can see I have 140,000 monthly viewers. You are not going to be starting at that. But again, how I recommend that you use Pinterest is as an active resource for your current customers. If you go to my boards, a lot of my boards you will see are about business because I mainly do use my, what's it doing here? I mainly use this for my other side of my business, but I have an essential oil and some how to be healthy boards here that people, and then you can see like I have a ton of like hidden boards that no one can see. So I use my Pinterest for personally for so many things. Like I legitimately pinned all these pins. I love Pinterest. But essential oils, you can see, I just shared this in my essential education this week. I said, if you want some diffuser recipes, I have a board that you can use. Here's the link. You just take this link, pop it in. It's pinterest.ca or .com, depending on what country you're in, / your profile name / whatever the name of the board is. It's called essential oils. I have so many diffuser recipes. So when I was like, if you want to find diffuser recipes, I just gave them that link and I was like, here you go. And I pinned these for the most part because I wanted some new diffuser recipes. So again, this is the ultimate in duplication and education. Now, if you are doing doTERRA as a business, you need to make sure that what you are sharing in terms of what's on your pins, keep it as compliant as possible. So I am not pinning like cure polio. Like it says, the pin actually says like cure polio. I'm not pinning that. I would be pinning recipes for natural cleaners. So calming homemade body butter with essential oils, how to make an essential oil Himalayan salt diffuser, 9 ways to use lemon essential oil, bug bite itch stick, all these different things. So Dr. Axe is great to pin from. If you go to doTERRA as a company, so you click on search doTERRA, but then you go to people, doTERRA has, and it's this one right here. So they have like 182,000 followers at this point. So you can see that their boards, they're so well split up, guys. Look, essential recipes, health and fitness, lifestyle, product, diffuser blends. And then when you click on these, a lot of them are categorized further into holiday blends, seasonal blends. These are great resources to have one place to go to share information for your Facebook group. Hey guys, it's coming up on the holidays. You go in here, you share some pictures from this holiday blend, and then you go and you share, like 4 recipes that are Christmas-based recipes or Easter recipes or whatever they are. That creates instant content for you to share into your other social media. It's a cohesive strategy. It's one social media shares stuff from other social media and all that good stuff. So that is mainly how I'm going to use Pinterest, is to support and give resources to the people who I've already enrolled. However, If you have a website, Pinterest is a fantastic strategy for getting traffic to your website, possibly new email subscribers, and then people who are going to possibly turn into real paying clients. I get about 500 to 700 people to my website from Pinterest every month. A lot of those convert into email subscribers, which I then convert into hopefully paying clients. But again, this does not happen easily. This has been 10 years of being in business. This has been many, many strategies on Pinterest. I've invested hundreds of dollars in a Pinterest course. So Pinterest, if you are interested in learning more about those strategies, I do have a course. I teach about that in the course, how to use Pinterest as part of this, how to get new people on autopilot. But you're more than likely not going to enroll 10 people a month from Pinterest, especially if you just started a Pinterest account. There's strategy behind it. There are years and years of work that has gone into this. So I say use it to support your current customers. Again, then new people are going to find you, possibly find your website. Maybe you link it back to your Instagram or something else, although I'd like to take it to a website because you're in control of that. You can collect their email address and you can control how often and how you're contacting them, instead of them only seeing your stuff 1% to 3% of the time. Pinterest is great for that. Don't expect to enroll anyone right away from social media, which is why I'm like, go out and do your regular pipes with real 3D people. All right, so what times do you post? Common question, right? Your times to post is, when is your audience on there? If your audience is new moms, they might be scrolling in the middle of the night when they're breastfeeding. If they are working moms, they're probably not scrolling. They might be scrolling at lunchtime, but they're probably not scrolling between 9 and 12 and 1 and 5. That's when they're working. So you either want to post on Instagram first thing in the morning, you want to post at 8:30 o'clock at night after their kids are in bed. You have to think of your ideal client and what their life more than likely is like. Are you going to post at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday? People probably aren't online. They're probably at the skating rink, or they're getting groceries or running their errands on a Saturday, or doing 5 million other things, right? But, 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, they're probably sitting there on the couch because they're exhausted and their husband's beside them and they're like kind of watching Netflix and they're like, la, la, la. Monitor if your person you want to help is like you. When do you find yourself going on your social media? That's when you should post. Now on Facebook and Instagram, it will show you once you start posting when the people following you are actually on. Now you then have to ask yourself, if I have an essential oil account, are people who are following me just other people who are building a doTERRA business? Like, that's what happens a lot of the time. So you don't necessarily want to pay attention to those analytics. You need to make sure that you're posting when they want it to be posted and when they're going to be online. So let me share my screen again. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to bring my phone up, just show you quickly how to check your insights if you don't know how to do that on Instagram. So we are in Instagram. Go to the bottom right-hand corner and click on your picture of your profile. In the top right-hand corner, click on the 3 little lines there, and then click on Insights. So from here, you're going to see some data. So click on Audience at the top and go to the bottom, and it's going to show you, click on Days on the right-hand side. It's going to show you what days of the week your audience is on. So maybe Monday, you have double the traffic, and maybe Sunday, they're not online. So you're going to pick that when you're going to post, and then go to Hours, and then you can scroll through every day of the week, and it will show you a 3-hour window. Now you have to guess within that 3-hour window because it just says 9 p.m. That might mean 9:15. It might mean 11:30. I don't know, but I can generally, it's just a guessing game, guys. So this is not the be all end all. There are other apps like when to post and stuff, and you can connect it to your Instagram account. It will tell you exactly the minute when most people are on your account that day. I say, because there's a lot of interaction. Ideally, people are commenting in the first half an hour after. That's when Instagram is going to show people the most your post. So you need to be there the next half an hour after to answer questions. The more engagement you have, the more you're answering their questions, the more people the social media platform is going to show it to. So you're not going to pick a time that's completely inconvenient for you either, because this is active work. This is where people say it is not easy to have social media because it is not about posting and forgetting. You have to be, it's social media. You have to be social. So you need to be there to interact with them. So I say this is how you find it on Instagram, but I say that's not the be all end all. And then let's bring up Facebook. So my group here, on the top, you see right under where it has members, it says admin tools and insights. Click on that. And then you can click on group insights, and I would click on engagement. This is going to show you, let it load for a second. So this is where it's going to show you popular days. So you can see most people in my group are active on Wednesday, but that's because I'm live on Wednesdays. So then below you can see that on Monday, so Wednesday, there'll be a spike at noon because that is when I am live. But you can see that the next spike is at 1 p.m., but the next spike is at 7 p.m. Because again, I have a lot of moms, people that they had to get their dinner ready and get their kids to bed, or get, maybe they're taking a minute for themselves and they're listening to me while they're cleaning up the kitchen after dinner. That's probably why I see that spike at 7 p.m. So then we click on like Friday. Friday's going to be Friday at noon as well. People seem to be, what's Thursday? There I have that 9 p.m. spike that I have on my Instagram. It matches. So Tuesday, again, spike at like 9 p.m. 6, 7, 8, yeah, that's 9. So this is where you can see if you want to be able to get the most engagement, pay attention to when your people are naturally in the platform. That's what this is giving you these insights from, and that's when you're going to post. So again, I say do not drive yourself crazy with these numbers, because you literally can drive yourself crazy with these numbers. I say post when you're feeling good, when you can interact with them, and then you're good to go. How frequently to post? As consistently as possible. So do not post 10 times in a 5-day span. You're like every morning and every morning at 8 a.m. and every night at 8:30 p.m. I'm going and I'm posting and I'm doing this. And then the next week and the next week after that, you post nothing. And then you're like, I got to recommit. Like, I'd rather see you looking at your schedule and saying, what is realistic for me? If that is 3 days a week, then you post 3 days a week, and you post every week, 3 days a week. I'm going to show you some planning tools in a second. You post, it's when you can be consistent. It's like your doTERRA business. You can do it part-time, you can do it full-time, but you cannot do it sometimes. Right? Truth bomb. So good. So again, I would like you, if you want to grow quickly, 2 times a day, 3 times a day posting. If you want to grow more organically and this is not your full-time job, 3 times a week. Like, come on, guys. You got to just pick something and do it. Be honest with yourself, okay? And it can feel very overwhelming. Begin at the beginning. Maybe start with one post a week, then add another one. Like, you do not have to jump in and go 100 miles an hour from the very beginning. Organic, what are my things here? Organic reach is getting lower and lower, so don't worry about the exact numbers. But if it's a choice between building in person and building online, in person every single time, hands down. I think every presidential diamond will tell you that. In person, guys. Okay, now this is the nice part. Following some sort of example, I'm going to show you my planning app in a minute. But what I like to do, if you're stuck, if you're just like, oh my God, I have to write these captions, or I have to write this content, split it up into categories. So let's say right here, I came up with an example. Let's say every Monday you post a diffuser recipe. On Tuesday, you post a Q&A or how you would use an oil in your daily life. Wednesday is a picture and a story about your journey or your inspiration or your story of why you started using essential oils or why you continue to choose to use essential oils. Thursday is a roller bottle recipe. And Friday is flexible. It can be whatever you want. It could be Fun Friday. It could be a picture of you from your wedding, from when you're a kid. Just fun, right? Like, how much lighter does that feel to know, like, okay, I've got a framework. So come up with, like, what are the topics that I want to talk about? Maybe you're a holistic nutritionist and you're like, Friday, I want me a Food Friday. I want it to be about food. So I'm going to take at some point during the week, I'm going to take a picture of my food, and that's when I'm going to share it in a post on Instagram or Facebook on Friday. There you go. Done, right? So is it okay to cross-post between platforms? Absolutely, if you do not have the time to do both separately. The most important part is that you stay consistent. If you do not have time to do all of these platforms, because there are a million platforms and they all can be done in a million different ways. It's hard, guys. So if you don't have time to keep up with Facebook, and the only thing that you have time to do is when you post on Instagram, because that's what you love doing, or that's where your audience is, and it's got the post that says share to Facebook, absolutely share to Facebook. I do not see anything wrong with that. In the best case scenario in our world, we would have time to do Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and LinkedIn and I don't even know, Twitter and all the other things, but we don't, unless you have $1 million to hire people to do it for you, which you probably don't. So pick one platform, and if you get to cross promote, then cross promote. If that's how you can stay consistent right now, there is nothing wrong with that. Now, is it necessarily going to show up in the highest engagement? No, you get what you get. You get what you put into a platform. So if you're not showing up in a big way, don't expect the results to show up in a big way. This is just life, right? Like if you're not building your doTERRA business in a big way, if you're not putting a lot of energy into it, guess what? You're probably not really growing that fast. Who's that on? That's on you, right? But accept. You can really, like I just do Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I don't care that there are a million. I don't care if some of my people are on Twitter. I hate Twitter. I don't want to be on Twitter. So, go where people are. But if you're just like, I hate every minute that I am on this social media platform, then don't do it. Guess what? Don't do it. You can make your own rules. Okay, let's get to great pictures. This is kind of the last part of this training. I know this is super long. You guys can watch this in pieces, share this with your teams, whatever. Taking great pictures. And I'll probably end up taking shitty pictures right now because the light, it's now cloudy out and I'm by a window. So taking great pictures. Rule number 1, lighting is everything. If best case scenario, you can get natural light coming from a window, that is always the best. You want to face the light. So if you are here, let's say the computer that I'm facing is my window. I want to face the window and I want to take a selfie with the light coming this way. I'm not going to take a picture this way with the window behind me because the window is going to be really bright and then you are going to be super dark or your oil is going to be super dark. So let's say if, I know you can understand this analogy, the computer screen that I'm sitting in front of is the window, but I'm taking a picture of an oil. So if I'm doing a selfie, my face wants to face the window, right? So I want to take it like this. If I'm taking a picture of an oil, you want to turn it around so that the face of the oil, the label, here's my green Mandarin, my oil is this way, the light from the window is coming in this way, and I'm taking a picture this way. You want to take advantage of the light that way. I would always try to do natural light. That way you don't have to invest in any expensive lights or anything. I don't use any expensive lighting. I change it in editing after. But you can get lovely halo lights. I was gifted one by, I think, the Melina Harrison, the Harrison team for Christmas last year. You can buy them on Amazon, but they can get quite expensive, like $100 to $300. You don't need that. It's fine. Just use natural lighting and you can edit it after. I'm going to show you some great editing stuff. So light is everything. If you want a super white background, go to your craft store and get a foam board. You can get these foam boards. They're about, I don't know, half a centimeter thick, so about 1/4 inch thick. They're about $2 at Michael's, sometimes at the dollar store, and you can get them super cheap. That's where you can do nice flat lays. You can use those to bounce light. So if you're taking a picture and you're like, there's these big shadows, you put the foam behind it. So you can't see it in the picture, but it will reflect the light and stop those shadows. Foam boards, go on Pinterest and Google like food photography tips. That will give you some great starting points of where you can improve your photography. Now I wanted to show you, I'm gonna get on my phone now. So let's cover rule of thirds in case you did not know this really basic, sorry, just sharing my phone here. The really basics of photography, really. Okay, so you're wanting to take pictures on your phone. So I'm opening my camera app here. Sorry if you have a, so there's me, a picture of me, taking a picture of me. Let me see. Hi, I hate taking selfies. So what you'll see is that I have, my camera screen is in 3s. You can see the lines. That's a grid. So you can turn this on in your settings in your phone. And what that does is it divides your screen. It's called the rule of thirds. A picture is much more interesting if the subject of the picture is either running along one of those lines or at the intersection of one of those lines. So what do I mean by this? So I'm going to change my setting to square. So if you're taking pictures for Instagram, you want a square picture. So let's say I am taking a picture this morning. Getting out of my chair, guys. I took a picture of this setup. That's how I just took that diffuser. Actually, I took it in photo setting because it's for Instagram stories. So if I took a picture of my oil right in the middle, you can see how I'm like, okay, the oils are in the middle. Everyone wants to put the subject in the middle. But if I move it over slightly, you can see how that actually makes it look a lot more balanced. So if we move this down here, it makes it look a lot more balanced. This is the rule of thirds. This is based on studies over years of the natural eye. Again, if we are doing, oh, my Facebook is on now, guys. Sorry, it's like bringing up all these notifications. If we're doing a flat lay, So let's say I have my oils here, I have a crystal or something. If we did it so that this is right in the middle, you're like, okay, that's kind of boring, whatever. If we move it so that the oils are in the top right, let's say we angle this, there. Is that not look much more interesting to you guys? This is called the rule of thirds. That's a really interesting artistic, it will draw the eye in and help people feel like they're much more, get them to like double tap on Instagram or like it on Facebook, even without reading the caption. So then you want to decide on your aesthetic. I would just start taking pictures of you using it around your house. You have some places around your house that must be beautiful, right? Like it's got to look cute. So go and just start taking pictures around your house, taking pictures of your diffuser setup. So here, right? Like here's my diffuser. Like this is actually how my office looks, right? Like cute picture, cute little diffuser with a plant. Okay, this is half built because I forgot to order all the hinges. But like little setup in our dining room, like take a picture of that, right? Like put an oil in the corner right there and be like, look, how cute is that? Like that's my oils box right there. So take a picture of where your oils box is. Like I guarantee you have some cute places to take a picture of. Now, when you take a picture and you're like, okay, that like, it needs something, right? This is a style. So what we can do is we can edit pictures after the fact super simply with free apps on your phone. I love this app called A Color Story. So this app is free. Now there are purchases within the app. Now you can get really good editing in this for the free version. I have a few paid things in here, so hopefully I don't show you something that's a paid version. But what you can do is you can bring up a picture. So I'm going to edit a picture right here for you. This is the picture of that exact same setup that I just showed you that I took this morning. So you can see I'm like, it's not a great picture. First of all, it's crooked. So you can see my window frame and my table is actually looks crooked. And it's not that it's crooked, it's that I took the picture crooked. I can click on this little level thing here and I can actually, okay, let's level it back out. Okay, question or check mark. Perfect. Okay, now at least it's level. That's like step number one. So then I click on continue. So I'm like, you can do all these different things in here. Now you're going to have to play around with this. I guarantee you though, after you're used to editing your photos, you're gonna be like, whoo, this is like, I can get this done. I can edit a photo in like 20 seconds. I can literally change a color of something and then make it look totally different in about 20 to 30 seconds. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it, but it becomes very quick once you get used to the app itself. The first thing that you can do is you can apply a filter, just like Instagram does. So I click on filters and I always use the same filter. I go into essentials. These are the ones that came free with the app and I like light bright. You can see that immediately when I add that filter, it literally it looks way more professional, does it not? Now my aesthetic is to be light and bright and saturated colors, meaning like bright colors, but lots of white space in there so that it's not super overwhelming. You can see how something like this sharp is a little bit more yellow, greeny tones in there. That's more what we would call a warm temperature. You can see hot toddy, that's like graying it out. Not my style at all, but then there's pop. You can see that it is saturated, but you can see the white is still a little bit creamy. It's still a little bit yellow, which means that it's got warm tones. You can even do black and white, and then they have ice. So I like light bright. That's the one that I like. And I'm gonna click on, and you don't even have to use one of these. You can do all of these individually. So I click on the check mark on the right-hand side. Now I click on the little home in the corner there, in the bottom right-hand corner. Then I can add on different effects. So these effects, these are where you can buy like a bazillion things, you guys. So you can see where like Essential Mermaid, Kim Camuso, adds like rainbows and stuff. She's probably using something like this. So if you add on, sky's over here, something that I bought, but you can add on, like, look at this. So we add on like a pinky tone, and it's got like, you know, it's like I wouldn't do this, but you can add like a rainbow effect, and you can do this and move it over and then make it a little bit transparent. If that's your aesthetic, go for it, right? Great, awesome. I'm not going to add one of these, but I just want to show you what they are. So again, bottom right-hand corner, I click on the little home. I mainly use tools. You can also use this crop and frame as well if you want to. Okay, I want to make this now square. So I want to make this square for Instagram, even though I took it up and down. So let me just move this, and then it's going to cut it off, which is totally okay. You can also click on these on the left-hand bottom corner. There's 3 lines. You can do this, and you can, whoops, I'm actually going to go to start over. So I didn't want to crop that. So anyways, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to review it real quick, right? So we're going to level it back out. You can see even has guidelines for you. Great. Continue. Filters, essentials, light, bright. I'm going to keep that on. Yeah, we'll keep it on full. And we're going to go back into the tools. I'm going to go to adjust. This is where you can make a lot of really individual adjustments. So what I like to do is I always like to sharpen it up. So sharpen is where if it's not in the clearest in terms of was it taken in focus or not, you can sharpen this up. Now, you can take it way to the right-hand side. You can see it makes it super grainy or it makes it super blurry. So I just take it a little touch and just clear it up a bit. Now, the exposure is how white it goes, so how bright. So again, we just with my finger, I'm just moving it along. So I'm not going to move that, but you can also do this with brightness. So brightness and exposure are slightly different. So you can see the brightness, how it's not quite the same as the exposure. So let's just say, I'm going to take that off for now, but I'm going to click on the temperature. I'm going to move the temperature to the left and make it a little bit more bluish. So you can see if I go to the right, it's going to take it to a warm temperature, which is yellow tones. And to the very left is blue, which is cool tones. I like my pictures a little bit more cool, so I'm just moving it to the left a little bit. I usually bring up the saturation. So again, right, really bringing up saturated colors to the left, making it more gray. So I'm going to bring up the saturation a bit. I'm going to bring up the contrast a bit. So again, you can just click on each of these and start playing around with this. And what does it look like, right? And mine also looks a little bit, I have my blue blocking glasses on, so everything looks a little bit orange to me anyways. But I'm going to click the brightness, and I'm really going to brighten it up a bit. I like a really bright white color. You can also do hue shifts. This is where you can literally shift the colors of certain items in the picture. I've had pictures before where I got a stock photo of a red kettle, and I don't like red kettles. I do pink kettles. I used this hue shift and made it a pink kettle in 30 seconds in this app, which is absolutely amazing. You can also click on the little color wheel in the bottom, and this is where you can start changing the individual colors of individual. So let's just say this green plant, you can see how it's changing the color of the plant as we move this along. So you can get lost in this app, but once you get used to it, I promise you that it becomes a lot easier. I'm just gonna move the exposure up a bit. Still want it to be a little bit white. Okay, so let's just say I'm happy with that. I'm gonna click on review. I'm going to click on save. Okay, so now it's going to save it to the photos in your phone. So now, when I look at my photos, you can see we started with this photo. Whoops, I don't know why. Oh my God, I don't know why I just changed that for you guys. That's super weird. Oh, okay, super weird. Let's see if, I don't know why it's doing that. Anyways, that was the original picture, right? This is it after it's edited. Does that not look like a completely different picture? That is the power of using editing apps on your phone. Now you need to get used to what you like. If you like a really cool white pictures, then you're gonna make all your pictures look the same. If you want your pictures a really good, and I follow a lot of people that do Young Living. So Casey Lee Wigand she is a Casey Lee Essentials. Hers is all warm tones and oranges, and I would never use any of these in real life, but does that not look like so beautiful to you guys? She's got a very specific style, and all of her pictures are edited using similar filters, similar colors. That's where you get, this is called branding. You get a cohesive feel out of that. So, you know, follow other people, whether they're using Young Living or other companies. I just think it's fascinating to see what other people are doing. So that's Color Story. So now, when you see that I shared a diffuser blend, and I shared this picture here where it's like today's diffuser blend, how do I add that in an app called WordSwag? So we go out of here, WordSwag is a free app, so I open up WordSwag, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up that picture, so you click on Library, click on Moment, and I'm gonna bring up that picture that I just edited. So you're gonna see here, normally it would open it in how you took the picture. Across the bottom, you can crop it to different sizes. So Facebook post, group cover, Facebook event cover. This is how I picked the size of my Instagram stories. I can move the imagery here, perfect, and click on next. Then it's not, I should actually, let me get out of this app and show you what it will automatically, I'm gonna just reload it so that it has that nice little thing. Okay, so library, I want you to see what it looks like when it comes up with the default. So it'll always default to no crop. I usually will either then crop it to square or Instagram story or Facebook post. Those are really the only three that I use. I don't make Pinterest pins in here. Click on next. It will come up with this automatic September issue font on the bottom that you can see. So you double tap on the words and I'll put, X that out, today's, press enter, diffuser, and blend. Press done. It'll say you can't use an apostrophe, continue anyways. So then what I do is I'm going to double tap on that again. I just want to, where it says auto line breaks on, I'm going to turn that off. So then it will actually put in where I've pressed enter. I can change the color of the background. So I, again, have my colors that I'm used to using. Pink is one of my big brand colors. That's what I'm going to do. So you can have that centered. Click on style again, and you can, these are free. So you want to know how Keely Martinez is at, and Michelle Cannon are adding, like, is that not the cutest thing ever? Look, today's diffuser blend. Like, it's, I think that looks so cute, but you're not going to use a million different ones. You're going to pick, you know, a few fonts that feel like something that you like. This would be called your branding. And you're going to, this would be the one Keely uses for everything. She might also use this one, new caption. This is a great one too. But again, it's your own personal, like, this is free, guys, free, absolutely free, which is amazing. I like this one as well. This is really nice. And again, you can change the color to any color you want to match your brand. Now, I generally will just do, I like the September issue because it's a serif font, and that is actually part of my font. And you can switch the style by clicking the numbers across the bottom. I like this one, then you move it up here. Great, today's diffuser blend, awesome. If you want to add another text box, you can add another one if you want to, but I'm just going to click delete layer, yes. Okay, perfect, and then click save. So then we've gone from photo here to there. There we go. There's your Instagram story picture. It took, once you get in the groove of this, literally takes less than a minute to edit it, add a caption, perfect, put it into Instagram. That's how I do that. Now you can also use something like Canva to make pictures. So let me exit out of here. And let me actually show you Canva if you've never used it before. Canva is a, I'm going to stop this here. Canva is a free, second, okay, share screen. Canva is a free, you know, image creator, and you can make different, pictures. So they come with templates. It's so great, like free fonts, everything. So what I like about this is, what would you like to design? Instagram post. Perfect. They already have the right size. They're 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels as long as it's square. You can also do Instagram story, and it's already got the right size. So you click on that, and then you're like, oh, what am I going to put in here? These are free templates. So you could be like, sale, oh, here's minimalist Instagram stories. So here's a free one. If it doesn't say free, then it's usually about $1 for these, but there's tons of free ones. So let's just say you're like, oh, I like minimalist style. Let's see. Is there something in here that you're giving away, or maybe you're doing a summer essential oils class? Oh, that one's not free. So let's say you had one here where you're like, you know, 200 PV promo ending this month. Click on that. Then you're like 200, or like, want a free card diffuser, question mark. Just make it a little bit smaller here just so that it all fits on 3. Let's just say that's 104, let's say 90. Okay, so want a free card diffuser. Promo ending October 31st. And that's where you can put, you know, there you go. And then you literally just click on this little arrow here, you download it, you save it to your phone, and then you upload it into Instagram. Like, Canva is amazing. It's got the picture dimensions already in there, and there are free and paid templates. You can use Canva to make your, I don't even want to save that. You can use it to make your Facebook group covers. So you have Facebook cover, but then you have, oops, Facebook group. So Facebook event cover, Facebook story, Pinterest graphic, like, you can create all of this stuff in Canva for free for the most part, unless you want to add in some customizations like your own font and stuff like that. Now, let me blow your mind. I have one more thing to show you, a couple more things to show you. First of all, If you want some great pictures to share, you can go to ashleysorokas.com/bizblog. This is my personal blog, but I have a great post that I think will be useful for you. So find the blog post that says stock photos for your health and wellness business. I have where I get some of my favorite stock photos, which are photos that you did not take that you can get for free or purchase from other people. There are some great sites in here where I have shared a curated collection. All these pictures right here, you could get for free. You can opt into my email list and get these for free, or you can go to Unsplash or Social Squares or any of these that I recommend here. Creative Market has some great ones. And doTERRA. doTERRA has, go to doTERRA.com and you go to, on the top, advocates, and then you go to images. You can see there are like all these logos here, but if you go to products and go to collections, you can see that there are all of these high resolution images. They have, here they have, what else is in here? Brochures, flyers. They used to have, I wonder if it's in, they used to have like PowerPoint presentations, and there are these beautiful like branded ones. If you're on any of the teams that receive the social media promo folders every month, that there's that social media promo group with like Ange Peters and I can't remember her name right now. There's like Haley Hobson is in it, I think, and some other high-level presidential diamonds who do a lot on social media. They create images for us. Don't forget that doTERRA has amazing images already, right? Like look at this essential aromatics kit. Is that not something that you would love sharing on Instagram? Like that looks so beautiful. It's colorful. It's so well laid out. Don't forget that doTERRA has some great ones as well. So that's where you can go to get some stock photos. You can look at some different sites as well. And there's also the app that doTERRA links up. I forget what it is. It mainly was only working in the US. I used it for a little bit, but there's the 1-year subscription to, I totally forget what it is, but they have some stock photos in there that you can use as well. Sorry, I'm losing my mind here. This has been a long training. One more thing for you. I'm going to blow your minds with this if you haven't already seen it. I'm going to introduce you to something called Planoly. There are a few apps that you can use to plan your Instagram feed. So let me just share my phone here. One last share. If you are like me and how things look are very important to you, and people actually follow me because they like how things look. And depending on your ideal client, if you're going after a modern mom that is into like mid-century modern design and loves to dress really cute, how your feed looks is going to be important to her. Now, again, this is not necessary. This is like advanced. You want to put a lot of time and energy into social media. You are like spending 5 to 10 hours a week on this, and you are trying to enroll people or supporting your team in a really big way. You can use something like this. So you see right here, there's an app called Planoly. This is a paid app. It's $12.99 a month US. For, or I might be Canadian, but I think it's US. And I have 2 accounts. So I have my essential oil account, and then I have my personal business account. And I can plan, guys, I can plan my Instagram feed. I want to show you this. So for instance, you can see here, right up until here is where I've posted up until today as I'm recording this video. So these are all posted. You can see the little Instagram logo in the top, in the bottom right-hand corner of all those images. But all these ones up here have yet to be posted. So what I did is I went into WordSwag and I created what I think of my categories. If I'm stuck and I don't know what to talk about, you can see that every Monday I just made a simple WordSwag picture that was square that I could upload into here to remind myself. Monday is Mood Board Monday. Tuesday is Q&A Tuesday. Wednesday is about my journey. Thursday is about an old blog post. Friday is for fun. So what I've done is I've done that to remind myself. But up here, I've already started uploading some images that I want to maybe post next week. So what if I don't like exactly how they look? I can drag these around and rearrange them. So if this pink picture, I'm like, that doesn't look right there. I'm gonna put it up here. This quote image, let's put it over here. When I first found this app, I was like mind blown. So I put this, I'm gonna put it back because I'm gonna show you then. So you can do this. This is the best part. You can put in placeholder images. So let's say I'm gonna put in 3 white squares just so that I have room to kind of, like I can take these. You can see I do this and it just rearranges them, right? Like how fun is this, guys? But what I use it for is this will auto post to Instagram. and you can schedule in your posts. You can write them all in advance. So you start with an account and you can actually go on a desktop and type your posts. If you're like me, I can type way faster on my computer than I can on my phone. So I can go into planoly.com, I think it's app.planoly.com, log in, and I can type all of my posts for the week all at once. I upload the pictures all at once. I plan all the posts all at once. You can do it on the fly, by all means, if something happens on the fly, but that's what I use my Insta stories for. My Instagram posts are all pre-made. I set an hour aside every Monday, and I write all my posts for the week. This way I'm not feeling like every single day I have to do something. So I go in here and I open up the post, and it says right here, enter a caption. This is my caption, exclamation point. Okay, I have saved hashtags in here. So all my hashtags I was talking about doing your research, I have different categories of hashtags. So depending on what I was talking about, then I would go here and I'm gonna copy my hashtags and I'm going to paste them. There's my hashtags, okay? So I have that in there, awesome. Press okay. Then I want to tag people. You can tag people like normal, like you would on Instagram, but let's say I want to schedule it. I just toggle over the schedule. I pick that I want to schedule it Wednesday at 3:21, and I click on save. Now I know that Wednesday at 3:21, that is going to be, give it a second to save, and then you'll see that it changes from the little pink square that says U to a blue one that says S, and then you can also pre-schedule it but not auto post it, and it will send you a notification at that time. It'll say, like, I forget what it says, but I've turned off my notifications on this, but it'll say like, you know, your Instagram post is ready to go. And then that way it has a little S, but it doesn't have the little arrow like the one beside it. This is actually my post. I'm recording this on October 26th. This one will go up at 4:30, and I actually put here, it's so funny, this is so timely, right? I put no shame in, this is auto-scheduled, no shame in pre-scheduling your social media. It's Friday and it's a PA day and I have a life too. So that is what my post is on that day, right? I'm just gonna unschedule this. If you wanna unschedule it, you just do this and click on save. So that's what I do to plan my feed. So you can see that for next week, I already have some pictures in, I already have some captions. So you can kind of see that my captions, this way I don't have like 2 posts with writing next to each other. I don't have 2 posts of me beside each other because I can drag and drop them. Now it only goes back so far with what you've previously posted, but that's so you can get a feed of, okay, what's the last few rows of my Instagram has looked like, and this way I can help it look a little bit better. So if we go over to my, my essential oil one, you can see that I've already uploaded the pictures all for next week. So you can see I've already rearranged them. I actually have another 7 pictures ready to go. I have not written the posts. So here's one here. So here's my post that is going up tonight at 4:45. And then here is my post that is going to be auto-scheduled with all of the hashtags on tomorrow, Saturday at 12:15, because tomorrow, Saturday at 12:15, I will probably be with my son in London going to give a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. And I'm not gonna want to be on Instagram and writing captions and putting in hashtags. So it's going to be auto posted for me. And this had made a world of difference, not only for me aesthetically in how, when I look at my Instagram feed now, I'm like, oh my God, it looks so pretty. Instead of putting up a picture and then you're like, oh God, that looks like really bad next to that one. This way I can see how it's gonna look. I can pre-write all my posts. I can get in a really good mood and take really good care of myself for an hour, maybe go for a walk, eat a nice healthy breakfast, and then sit down and write all of my captions at once. And that is called batching, and it has worked amazingly well for me. So again, this app is called Planoly. Now you can also use this for Instagram stories. I have not gone there yet because for me, Instagram stories is real life. It is, this is happening right now in my life. I don't want that to be pre-planned. But there are a lot of other people that will pre-plan it. If you know, every Thursday, I want to draw attention to that 10-minute oils class that I have saved in my Instagram highlights, then I can pre-schedule that every week, and I can do that. So you can also see some highlights in here. You can see kind of analyze your week, month, and year. And I can also see a little calendar of what days have I posted, what time, and then how many likes and comments did I get on that. So maybe I can start seeing trends of what my people want to see, or are there certain times that are better that got more interaction. So this is a fantastic app. Again, not required at all because it's pretty advanced. Do not stop doing the regular things that you need to do in favor of making a pretty Instagram feed like me. Do not be as OCD as me, okay? Like, I'm a branding expert. Things have to look nice or I'm just not going to post something. But, you know, like, if you want to do social media, start at the beginning. Just be consistent however you choose to do it. Be consistent. Priority 1 is in person, doing your classes, sampling, following up, wellness consults. Second priority is education of your current customers. Third priority is finding new customers on social media, okay? It'll be your third priority. It will be also the thing that sucks the most time and energy out of you for the least amount of results. But if you're going to do it, I hope some of these have helped. I'm sorry this training was so freaking long. I knew that I had so many things that I wanted to share. So I hope that you've learned a few things. I'm sure some of you have learned a lot and you're just like, I just don't even know where to start. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I am in the Launch Your Legacy Facebook group. You can also, you now know where to find me, Instagram, Facebook. Hit me up with your questions. I'd love to know. I want to be able to write content and help all of you in my like free blog posts and free Instagram and stuff. I want to be able to do that for you guys. So let me know what you're struggling with and hopefully this has helped. And I will see you later.